It's off season, it's snowing outside, but you want to play disc golf, or if not play, you want to get better at it while not freezing your butt going outside. So then you go to the internet and try to find the best equipment to help you get better at disc golf while not playing disc golf. So how do you know what equipment works and what doesn't? Well, you don't, unless you know the basics of a good form and how to practice it and how not to practice it. So I'm here to help you to avoid investing in the bad equipment and save you from ruining your form this off-season. Number 3, the Powerball. I used to have this. I used to do this all the time. It was like 10 years ago, and I can tell you, didn't help shit. I bought it because it was promoted as a great tool for golfers to gain necessary arm and wrist muscles. Well, here's the truth. It doesn't build muscles, and even if it did, you don't need muscles in your forearm or in your wrist. Look, I'm not against resistance training, not at all, and I think all the disc golfers should do something to build their muscles and help them getting more power in their shots and help them avoid injuries by throwing discs too hard without any muscles. For disc golfers especially, it's super important to have muscles, to have good coordination, to have a good balance and everything that comes from working out, since the throw itself is a brutal movement for your body if done incorrectly and without any muscles that support your joints and ligaments. I also think it's necessary to build speed and explosiveness to reach your highest potential, but not by sacrificing your form while doing it. If you want to gain speed, learn the proper form first and build muscles and speed in the gym. First train your legs and core, and don't neglect your upper body either, but beware of trying to mimic the throwing movement with machines or ropes that will interfere with the actual movement of the actual throw. What the Powerball does, it gives you a great pump in your forearm and the shoulder, but it certainly doesn't build muscle. It can make you rigid and your fingers stiff, resulting in more grip locks and unwanted tension. But even the Powerball has its merits, but in recovery and rehab. So if you have a shoulder injury or just lack any muscles in the arm, you can use it to help increase the blood flow and gain mobility and slowly build the small muscles in your arm. But for disc golf specifically, I think Powerball is quite useless. Number 2, the speed gun behind the net. Okay. This has been the go-to off-season training equipment for years, and no wonder why. It gives you immediate feedback whether your shot was powerful or not. But that's the reason throwing discs to a speed gun behind the net is one of the worst things you can do to learn form. First of all, it doesn't give you accurate measurements. I have thrown my ass off to one of these and never got past 115 kilometers per hour. And then again, I used another speed gun and I couldn't get below 120 kilometers per hour. And last year at the European Open, I saw many throws that were closer to a world record speed. The second reason is that in order to get any result whatsoever is that you have to place the speed gun where the disc will hit the net. And most of you don't do it. You place it on a chair or something that is super low. And then you try to throw at the net and you end up throwing down like this and the disc will hit the ground after like 20 meters. This movement, this type of training will teach your body to throw down, only down. And the biggest reason the speed gun is bad for you is that the speed gun doesn't give shit about your release angle, about the nose angle, about the height of the throw. It only gives results for the first couple of milliseconds of the flight of the disc. It doesn't care where your disc lands, it doesn't care how it flies, and you end up not caring either. You only care about the numbers shown on the screen, and you learn to use as much power as possible, and by doing that, you will ruin your form. Instead, go outside, play disc golf, have fun, learn the proper form, and if you can't do that, go to the gym. And if you really want to know how fast you can throw, use a speed gun that can measure the speed behind you. Throw a casual round, throw on the field, but use a speed gun that you don't have to aim at, so that you know if the shot was actually good enough and that the landing zone was where you wanted it to be, because that is important in disc golf, not the speed itself. Number 1, the flight towel. Yes, the towel has been the staple of all off-season and indoor practice for disc golf for decades, and I love it. But the fact that I don't love the flight towel is that it teaches you to grip lock. The flight towel is actually an improved version of a cheap kitchen towel. It has a system that attaches a rim of an actual golf disc to a towel, and that sounds like a great improvement. You think that, yes, now I can grip the disc and snap the towel and learn the proper form, but it doesn't work like that, not at all. In fact, when you grip an actual disc rim that feels like a real disc and you learn to throw with the towel, first of all, the towel doesn't give you the snap. It has a system that slows it down too much to give a good snap. And the second reason why it's super bad is that it teaches you to hold on to the disc for too long. When you grip the disc and you try to throw the towel like this and not let go, it teaches you actually to squeeze the disc super hard when you need to release the disc. At the moment of the release, you don't let go at all, but instead you learn to squeeze hard. And this is super bad because it teaches your brain to squeeze at the wrong moment, and it teaches your fingers the wrong muscle memory. And I have first-hand experience about this. Pun intended. I was playing around and we had like a 15-minute backup. And one of the group mates had this flight towel. It was a homemade one, but the same principles applied. And I wanted to try it out. So I squeezed the disc, it was mid-range, and then I threw it like this and didn't let go. Like full power swings, follow through and all. And after doing it for a couple of minutes, it was my turn to throw. And guess what happened? I grip locked the hell out of my drive. And I continued to do it for the rest of the round until I had to DNF. I just couldn't let go of the disc anymore because I had taught my muscles to not let go of the disc anymore. If you do this long enough, this will certainly mess up your form, and every time you use the flight towel, you have to get back to the original disc and do like hundreds of reps just to forget about the flight towel. So instead, buy a $1 kitchen towel or use some towel you found at your home. Make it a little wet, not too much, so that it doesn't become too heavy. And then wrap it around your hand so that you don't have to squeeze it out at all, and then do the exact motion you would with the disc, and then just let it loose, let it rip, and hear the sound. The bigger the snap, the louder the snap, the faster your fist. That's super cheap. You don't have to invest in any of these equipment. Just use the towel and just rip it. So here you have it, the least favorite disc golf form learning equipment I know in the market. Save your money, save your form, and just buy a freaking towel and rip it.